पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Sanita Ramya from Sharjah, UAE, welcoming all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy name which are to be awarded written by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Number 2, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, that is Krishna Prema. Once again, welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. So today we will be moving on to the next session, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So before moving on to the session, let me know who are all on the call today. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण नीता माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Mataji, Prabhuji has come. So, can we
So
have
we'll start,
introduction
Mataji.
quickly?
Do we need
yes, start recording.
introduction? Should we do, Mataji?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much, dear devotees. I once again welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, and I think each and everyone who have participated here today. Sorry, we won't be able to go for introduction as Prabhuji has joined earlier, and I would like to now hand over the call to Tiffany Mataji to give brief introduction about Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This morning, we have the great pleasure of having His Grace Vraj Bihari Prabhuji. He is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He is a full-time monk, counselor, self-help author, lifestyle coach, and teacher at Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Mandir, Iskan Chowpatty, for the last 2 decades. He has a master's degree in economics and a master's in monetary policy and international finance. He joined the Times Group after completing an MBA in finance and has a wealth of corporate experience, having undertaken projects for multinational companies such as KPMG, Pete Marwick, and ICICI Bank. As a member of the education and training body for congregation development at Iskan Chowpatty, Vraj Bihari Das Prabhuji counsels young men in the ashram and trains a satellite community of 150 families in Borivali in northern Mumbai. He shares his daily reflections and discourses on his website, www.yogaformodernage.com, with over 950 plus articles on the website and over hundreds of talks in his YouTube channel. His recent release, Mind Your Mind, 3 Principles for Happy Living, is a result of his daily study, writing, contemplation, and prayers over the last 20 years. In his writings, he shares different tools to help one feel loved and improve one's relationship with oneself and with those who matter to us. One of Prabhuji's works of fiction, called Cricket in a Monastery, reveals valuable life lessons from a game of cricket. He is a seasoned international speaker, having traveled and spoken in the USA, Australia, UK, Germany, Russia, other parts of Europe, and the Middle East. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for joining us, Prabhuji. It's so wonderful to take your association today.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Hare Krishna, Dipani Mataji. Thank you so much for this brief introduction about Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I once again welcome all of you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So today, dear devotees, we'll move on to the next session, that is Srimad Bhagavatam, which will be given by His Grace Vraj Bihari Prabhuji on the verse 7, that is Canto 7, Chapter 5, and verse 54. Hare Krishna, Vraj Bihari Prabhuji, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time and association today and enlightening us on this topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all devotees for joining online. Thank you Tiffany Mataji, Anita Mataji for your warm welcome. I'm happy at the opportunity to serve all of you. I also want to thank Shama Gauri Mataji for connecting with me and giving me an opportunity to serve all the devotees who have joined online. Can all of you hear me clearly, loud and clear?
Yes, yes,
Yes, Prabhuji.
clear.
Okay. And is it possible for devotees to switch on their videos? Because I feel I'm talking to a blank screen. And anyway, that will be nice if devotees can have their videos on. Then I
Yes.
can, but if devotees cannot, I cannot obviously cannot insist because I am your servant. I just express my desire. So we will start with the class 7.5.54. This is Prahlad Maharaj's qualities, the saintly son of King Hiranyakashipu. So we will discuss his qualities. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatiruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Pankaja Nabhaya Namo Pankaja Maline Namo Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangre. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pavchaka Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yonta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuttan sanjivayata kila shakti dara swadhamna anyam shahasta charana shravana tvagadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Katanchana smrite yasmin duskaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam sya Shri Chaitanya namamitam. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we'll read this verse. It's a beautiful verse from the 7th canto, 5th chapter, 54th verse. Yadacharya paravritto graha mediya karmasu Vavasair balakais tatra Sopahutah kritakshane. Sopahutah kritakshane. when the teachers went home to attend to their household affairs, the students of the same age as Prahlad Maharaj would call him to take the opportunity of leisure hours for play. In purport by Srila Prabhupada, in tiffin hours, the hours when the teachers are absent from the classroom, the students called Prahlad Maharaj wanting to play with him. As will be seen from the following verses, however, Prahlad Maharaj was not very much interested in playing. Instead, he wanted to utilize every moment for advancing in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, as indicated in this verse by the word Kritak Shanai, at the opportune moment when it was possible to preach about Krishna consciousness, Prahlad Maharaj used the time as follows. So this is a very, very powerful, beautiful, and short purport. It's amazing because Srila Prabhupada is revealing to us the importance of Kritak Shanai. Just at the right moment. See, basically, Prahlad Maharaj never wasted time. So we see that Prahlad Maharaj was not interested in wasting time in playing. So when the teachers would go away, and he would take the opportunity to preach. Basically, he was absorbed in not only remembering Krishna, but sharing Krishna. So, whenever we read Bhagavatam, we just don't read only for purification. We want to get purified. We want the sound vibration to purify us. That is one agenda. But because we are living in this material world and we are struggling to navigate through the challenges of this material world, we also read Bhagavatam in the mood of how we can learn from this purport or this section and then apply it in our life. So we don't simply hear Bhagavatam, we also focus on learning and we also focus on applying. So we see in this section, what we learned is Prahlad Maharaj did, what we have heard is the teachers have left the classroom and Prahlad is taking this opportune moment. This is what we have heard. What we can learn from this, Srila Prabhupada is revealing to us in the purport, that Prahlad Maharaj was absorbed in Krishna and he didn't waste time. And he saw the time and he gave it for preaching. He used it for preaching. So how we can apply in our own life? We can apply that we should also not waste time. Generally, when we read Prahlad Maharaj's example, Bhagavatam, many people I've seen, many grahasthas, I've seen many of my friends, they immediately think of applying this for their children. Because every Prabhuji and Mataji want their children to be like Prahlad. But more than that, I feel this is for us. It is not for the children. Because children will become devotees one day. We don't have to worry. Parents do not worry that their children are not listening to them. They should be worried that their children are observing them. And children are very good in observing the parents. So if the parents are learning from Prahlad Maharaj's lifestyle and applying it in their own life, then we can be assured that our children in due course of time will become devotees. Of course, this does not mean we should not give Krishna consciousness to our children, but I'm just sharing one thought. So now, very important point, Prahlad Maharaj did not waste time. So we can also learn from this, that we should also not waste time. Avyartha kalatvam, this is one of the symptoms of Bhava Bhakti, where devotees are absorbed in Krishna. And Prahlad Maharaj is teaching us, and we have to take Prahlad Maharaj very seriously, because Prahlad Maharaj is one of the 12 Mahajanas. See, we have to understand Krishna consciousness to practice and to apply in our life. We need examples ahead of us. And Bhagavatam, Yamaraj is telling his assistants that there are 12 Mahajanas, 12 great personalities. We have to follow their footsteps. Then we can practice Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we'll get confused. And Prahlad is one such Mahajan. See, there are few things we need to do in our life if we really want to apply Krishna consciousness in our day-to-day life. Otherwise, all this will be theory. First is, we need scriptures, right? Second, we need Guru. And third, we need Mahajanas. Mahajanas means all the great souls along with our Guru. So Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Sadhu means the Mahajanas. Guru means our spiritual master, and Shastra. All three are needed. See, the very, very important verse is there in the Bhagavatam, where this is emphasized by none other than Lord Krishna. When he is instructing Uddhava in the Uddhava Gita, 11th canto, 20th chapter, text number 17, this is one of the most important verses for ISKCON devotees, where Lord Krishna is telling Uddhava, Hrideya madhyam sulabam sudurlabam plabam sukalpam guru karna dharam Maya nukule nanabasvateritam Puman bhavabdim na taretsa atmaha. Lord Krishna is saying, oh, human beings, please understand, Hrideham, this body that human beings have got, this is Adyam. This is the source of all favorable results. See, we have heard that body is very abominable, body is bag of stool and urine. All that is true. There is also another reality. This body is a source of all amazing results. So we need to tap this gift that we have got. Why? Hridaya Madhyam. Look at the two words used by Krishna. Sulabham, Sudurlabham. He says human body makes everything sulabham, very easy. And the very next word is Sudurlabham, means very, very difficult. So human body is called by Prahlad Maharaj as very easy and very difficult. The two adjectives are used immediately one after the other. This is a paradox or a contradiction in the Bhagavatam. Not only in the same shloka, just the same line, the two words are used. Human body is very easy to get, but very difficult also. Why these two words are used? Because Krishna is saying it is very sudurlabham, very, very rare to get human body. But if you have got the human body, then sulabham, then it becomes very easy for us to attain perfection of life. See, the rarity of human life is explained in the Nitis Shastra. That it's a very, very, I don't remember the verse, but it's very graphically and poetically explained. That imagine there is only one huge tortoise in the ocean. You all know how big an ocean is. Ocean is sometimes bigger. One ocean is bigger than an entire continent. 70% of Earth is water. So imagine a huge ocean and there's only one big tortoise in that ocean. So the Niti Shastra say, and imagine there is only one piece of log, one log of wood which is floating in that ocean. And that log of wood has a hole. So the verse says, what is the probability that in this entire huge ocean, there is only one log of wood which is floating, and that one tortoise which is there in that ocean, it comes out of that hole from that log of wood. How rare and how improbable that is. Similarly, Sudurlabham, human life is very, very rare. Now that we have got this human form of life, we need to tap it. Like recently, I remember I was traveling in the train in Mumbai and I had to wait. I had to leave some 7 or 8 trains because it was very crowded. So I left all the trains which are coming every 3 minutes. And then after leaving all the trains, then the 9th or 10th train that I took, because it was little less crowded, I entered and somehow I managed. It was very crowded. I went to one particular spot. And when I went there and I hung, and I was shocked. Just in front of me was another very, very dear devotee friend of mine with Tilak and Kantimala. And we were seeing each other after 10 years. And I was like shocked. And he was shocked. And for the last 1 hour, I was in the railway station. Actually, for a long time, I was in the station. I had not seen any devotee. And suddenly, I see this devotee who is a very, very dear friend of mine. And then we were laughing about it. I was telling him, what is the probability that I would have met you? You know, this is Krishna's arrangement. Like my brother, he is a very senior man in the Indian Navy, Navy, and he's got very big position. And recently, his wife and they were celebrating, I think, their 35th wedding anniversary, something like that, 30th wedding anniversary. It's a very big program. Now, my brother, like we are all from South India, a very, very traditional Udupi Brahmin family. And his wife, she's a Punjabi from Vadodara. So I was asking him that how did you meet? How did you fall in love? And how did you get to know each other? Because you are so different culture. So he said a very interesting story. The Babi, his wife said very interesting that in 1980s, I think, late 1980s, they were traveling in a train and they met each other. So I started laughing. I said, what is the probability? See, in the train, you meet so many people all the time. What is the probability that you meet your life partner and you spend the next 35 years with that person? What is the probability that you meet your life partner in a train when you're traveling every day so many times? So the point I'm trying to make is human life is like that. Very, very, very rare. And we have got it. That's what Krishna is saying. Hridaya Madhyam Sulabham Sudurlabham. You have got this human form of life. But please remember, now Krishna gives a very beautiful example. Plavam Sukalpam. He says, human life is like a plavam, like a boat. plavam. And he said, now you say, oh, boat? Boat in a huge ocean? Sometimes we get scared when we think of a boat in a huge ocean. We think the boat will be thrown away. Right? So this ocean is compared to the material world, the ocean of suffering. And we have to cross over this ocean of suffering. We need a boat. So we may think the boat is not good or very tiny. So Krishna is telling, no. Please understand, this human life is like not an ordinary boat, but plavam sukalpam. Sukalpam means it's a very, very strong boat. It's not like Titanic. It won't sink. It's extremely powerful ship. But this powerful ship will remain so only if there are two things in our life. Plavam sukalpam guru karnadharam. There has to be guru. There has to be a spiritual master. What will happen? There is one thing we need. What else we need? Maya nukule nanabasvateritam. So the ship needs to be strong, which it is. The human life is an opportunity for us. But the ship needs a captain. Without the captain, the ship is useless. Now, the ship not only needs a captain, the ship also needs favorable wind. So Krishna is saying, Maya nukulena nabasvateritam. My instructions which I give, the scriptures are the favorable winds. So, in other words, if all of us here take scriptures and Guru in our life, if we have Srila Prabhupada and if we have scriptures, association of these two every time, then this boat will remain strong. And the last line Krishna is saying, Puman bhavabdim nataret sa atmaha. A human being who has been given this boat and who has a good captain and who has the favorable winds, and if he's not utilizing this human form of life, if he's not using this boat to cross over the ocean of material existence, sa atmaha is a killer of the soul. He is foolish. He is stupid. So why I'm saying this is, see, we are discussing Prahlad Maharaj's example. Now, Prahlad Maharaj is a Mahajan, and this example is given in scriptures. So we need both. We need scriptures, we need Guru, and we need great souls. And scriptures are very, very important because unfortunately, I've seen many times nowadays, especially in 2024, the last 10 years, I'm seeing that a lot of spirituality is about my feelings and my ideas and what I think and I feel. And there are very famous spiritual gurus in India who denounce scriptures. And they just say that, I never read Bhagavad Gita. A very famous spiritual guru in India says, he just dismisses scriptures. Now, when we don't have scripture, that means we are using our mind and intelligence. When we have scriptures in our life, we are accessing an intelligence beyond our own tiny mind and intelligence. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was instructing Sanatana Goswami, one of the most powerful things he tells him is, Maya mugda jiver nahi swatah Krishna gyan jivera kripaya koila Krishna Veda Puran. Mahaprabhu is saying, Maya mugda, we are just completely trapped by our mind and senses. Therefore, swatah Krishna gyan, we cannot know Krishna on our own. Maya mugda jiver nahi swatah Krishna gyan. But Krishna is so kind on us. Jivera kripaya koila. Krishna is very kind. What did he do? Krishna Veda Puran. He has given us Vedas. He has given us Puranas. So we have scriptures. And we also have Guru. But what happens? We also need shelter of the other devotees. We also need not only devotees, we need the previous devotees who have followed this. They're examples. Like when we read Prahlad Maharaj's examples, then we get inspiration. Because in the Mahabharata, there is a very, very important, I feel a little scary instruction. That what happens many times, we just get confused even if you have scriptures. I've seen devotees, they can, Srila Prabhupada, Veda-based, they can quote and they can prove any theory. There are devotees who say, Srila Prabhupada did this, and then there is another devotee who can prove that Srila Prabhupada said like this, and for both of them we'll have quotes of Prabhupada. So we can get confused. So the Mahabharata says very beautifully, Tarko pratishtha shrutayo vibhinna nasa vrishiryasya matam na bhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena gata sapantha. The Mahabharata says, oh, people come together and they keep arguing based on scriptures. Tarko pratishtha shrutayo vibhinna, and they give different theories. Nasa vrishiryasya matam na bhinnam, and devotees come together and they keep arguing. Because scriptures are dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Guhayam means a cave. The actual realization and truth is hidden deep inside the cave. Very poetically it is explained. So if we want to get that from the deep cave, we have to follow the footsteps of, the last line says, Mahajano yena gata sapantha. Mahajana. We have to follow the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj and learn from his example and take shelter of Mahajana. So basically, scripture should be there, and also we need to have examples of devotees who are following the statements of scriptures. And Prahlad Maharaj is one such example. Actually, what happens, when we follow these instructions and we remember great souls, then Krishna becomes a reality. Otherwise, like for example, meditating on Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj is the best example for remembering Krishna. Right? One of the nine limbs of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, is Prahlad Maharaj. So we want to remember Krishna all the time. Now, when we close our eyes and we remember Krishna, our mind will go for sense gratification thoughts. But if we read about Prahlad Maharaj, how he remembered Krishna, then when we read Bhagavatam verses which tell us to remember Krishna's lotus feet, then it becomes easy for us to remember Krishna's lotus feet, because we have connected to the instruction of Bhagavatam through the example of Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam gives us instructions, but Bhagavatam also gives us examples. Therefore, when Krishna was in the womb of his mother Devaki, in the prison house of Kamsa, that time the Devatas descend. The second chapter of 10th canto, the demigods are offering beautiful prayers to Mother Devaki's womb, where Krishna is residing. So there, one of the prayers they offer is, Tvayambujaksha khila sattva dhamni samadhina veshita chetaseke tvatpada potena mahatkritena kuruvanti govatsapadam bhavabdim. This is 10.2.30 and the next verse 31. These two are extremely important for ISKCON devotees, because this teaches us the power of both things. Remembering Krishna's lotus feet and also remembering the examples of devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. We need both examples and instructions. So in this verse, the Devatas are saying, Krishna, you have such beautiful lotus eyes, and you are the person who is an abode of incredible potencies. Tvayambujaksha kila sattva dhamni. And you know what, Krishna? What great souls are doing? Samadhina veshita chetaseke. They are completely focused on remembering your lotus feet. See, the idea is we want to remember Krishna's lotus feet. What the demigods are saying, okay, we want to remember your lotus feet, but first let us declare and let us loudly proclaim how great devotees are constantly remembering your lotus feet. And what is your lotus feet, Krishna? Look at the analogy that Devatas give. They say, Krishna, your lotus feet is like a boat. Tvatpada potena mahatkritena. Mahatkritena means Mahajana, the great souls. They meditate on your lotus feet, which is like a boat. And what happens because they are on this boat? Kuruvanti govatsapadam bhavabdim. They sit on this boat and they cross the ocean of material existence. Sometimes the first time I read this verse, I was honestly speaking, I have faith in scriptures, but I'm just saying, the skeptic mind, how our mind can cheat us. I was thinking, oh, Krishna's lotus feet is a boat. Generally, when I think of a boat, we think boat is small in relationship with the ocean. The ocean is big. So we think, oh, Krishna's lotus feet, if I hold on to, then I can cross this ocean. So subconsciously, I was thinking, oh, Krishna's lotus feet is small. And the ocean of material existence is very, very big. But last 25 years of practicing Hare Krishna movement, in being in Krishna consciousness, slowly I'm now beginning to realize, oh, this is not what actually it is. Because the last line is saying, Kuruvanti Govatsa Padam Bhavabdim. When devotees sit on this boat, then the ocean of material existence, which is so huge, it becomes Govatsa Padam. It becomes like the water contained in the hoof print of a calf. That means the ocean is tiny compared to Krishna's lotus feet. Generally, the ocean is big and the boat is small. But when we take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, then Krishna becomes big in our life, and the ocean of problems that we are going through, the suffering we are going through, that becomes like water contained in the footprint of a calf. See, right now we are suffering more than what we deserve to suffer. We are suffering because of our karma, but because of the stories we tell ourselves in our mind, we are suffering more. The scripts we have inside our brain, that is giving us more suffering, right? That is the ocean actually. That is a huge ocean. So what is the demigods telling in this verse? They are saying, take shelter of Krishna's boat. That boat is so big that your world of the stories that you are telling yourself, the ocean of suffering that you have, that will become small. Let us make Krishna's boat big in our heart and mind, so that our problem, see, we cannot reduce our suffering. We cannot reduce our problem. Let us make Krishna big in our heart. When we were small, there was a very famous story in India. Everybody knows this. Tenali Rama and the king. There was a king. The king had a witty minister called Tenali Rama. So the king told in the court that he drew a line on the board, and he asked these ministers, can anyone make this line small without erasing it or without cutting it? Can you make this one line, which drew a line on the board, can you make it small without cutting it or erasing it? So nobody could think of how to do it. But Tenali Rama, what he did, he took another chalk and he drew a line much bigger than the first line. What happened? That line automatically became small. Similarly, we cannot reduce our problem. We cannot reduce our suffering. We have got so much. We all are getting what we are supposed to get. But if we make a bigger line, if we take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, then that boat will make our problems small. Because Krishna is in our heart. And this process, see what the Mahajanas are following, what Prahlad Maharaj is following, this is not some speculation. The Devatas are revealing in the very next verse, 10.2.31, that the uniqueness of the process of bhakti which Prahlad Maharaj and Mahajanas are following. This is another amazing graphic, poetic example given by the Devatas. They are saying, Swayam samuttirya sudustaram dyuman bhavarnavam bhima madabra saurada bhavat padambo ruvanavamatrate nidaya yata sadanugraho bhavan. They are saying, oh Krishna, it is your anugraha, it is your blessing that you created this boat of devotional service, of remembering your lotus feet. Because Swayam Samuttirya, you have given us this process. Because this ocean of material existence is sudustaram, very difficult to cross over. But Krishna, you are like the sun. You are like the sun. Now, when I heard this also, I was a little confused. See, to cross an ocean, we need a boat. We don't need a sun. But look at the poetry here, used here. The Devatas are saying, Krishna, this ocean of material existence is so huge that we need a sun to cross over this. So I was wondering, why we need a sun? We need a boat. We don't need a sun to cross the ocean. The next line reveals that. Because this is not an ordinary ocean. This is not an ocean of water. When we think of ocean, we think of water. But this is Bhavarnavam Bhima Madabra Saurada. This is an ocean of darkness. So when we are trapped in an ocean of darkness or ignorance, we need the sun of knowledge. We need sun. And Adabra Saurada, oh Krishna, devotees like Prahlad, Bhishma, Janaka, the Mahajanas, they are so compassionate that they have taken this boat. And what has happened? Bhavat Padambo, Ruvanava Matrate, they sat on this boat of devotional service and they crossed over this ocean of darkness. But what they have done is very interesting, the last line. Nidhaya Yata Sadanugraho Bhavan. They took the boat, they crossed the ocean, but as soon as they crossed the ocean, lo and behold, look at the miracle, the boat was back in the material world. They used the boat to cross over Nidhaya Yatha, they crossed over the ocean, but when they landed on the spiritual world, the boat has disappeared from there and the boat has gone back to material world so that we can sit on that boat and come back to Krishna. So they are saying in a very poetic way that the Mahajanas like Prahlad Maharaj are so good because they use devotional service, they use the principle of remembering the Lord in such a way that not only they get benefited, but they have given us the process for us so that even millions of years later, we can practice bhakti and we can cross over this ocean of material existence. So therefore, what Bhagavatam is teaching us through the examples of Prahlad Maharaj is that we need to remember the Lord's lotus feet. We need to take shelter of scriptures. So not only take instructions from scriptures, but remember the examples from scriptures. And when we have instructions and examples, then our practice becomes easier. So to summarize, what we discussed today is Prahlad Maharaj here is mentioned as somebody who is not wasting time, is sharing Krishna with everyone. And when the teachers have left the classroom, so we have taken that theme of how Prahlad is a Mahajan, a great devotee of Krishna. And taking Prahlad's example, we are learning how we need scriptures, we need great souls, and we need Guru. And we took examples from 11th canto where Krishna is telling Uddhava that human life is very rare. And once we have this human life, we need to practice bhakti. And if we don't do it, then we are the killer of the soul. And then we discussed from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya is telling Sanatana Goswami that we cannot understand Krishna on our own, we need scriptures. But Mahabharata explains that sometimes we get confused with scriptural statements, so we need examples of devotees. And then we discussed from the demigod's prayers, how when we have examples of devotees, then bhakti becomes like a very nice boat. And when we sit on that boat, the ocean of problems that we have becomes tiny, like the water contained in the hoofprint of a calf. And not only this process is so wonderful that great souls have crossed over the ocean of material existence, but they have left behind the process for us to take shelter of Krishna. So therefore, let us absorb ourselves in the path of bhakti. I sincerely want to thank this group of devotees who have been coming together for the last so many years, every day, morning, afternoon, evening, all over the world, you are coming together and chanting. I have no words, please don't think I'm exaggerating, but from the bottom of my heart, I sincerely want to thank all of you for coming together and hearing Bhagavatam and chanting together, because this is very, very rare in Kali Yuga. Especially in modern times, people are only interested in sense gratification and dopamine kicks. And here you are coming for seeking something deeper. My profuse gratitude and my sincere prayers that you continue like this. This is a beacon of hope for devotees who are struggling in this material world. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I can now take some questions or comments if you have. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, once again for giving us your valuable time and association. It was such a wonderful class. Though it was short, but still it was very strong also. Just mention like how we have to follow the footsteps of our Mahajanas and how they have left us this scriptures and all. And I especially liked the story of your Bhabi who met your brother. And so that's how it happens. Even I think even when the devotees, when there is a non-devotee, so if he is having, I think if he is having that sukriti only, he can have that fortunate to see a devotee. Is that right, Prabhuji? That was my understanding.
Yeah, but we need to see that we have got bhakti because of the mercy of devotees. That way we are always humble.
Okay. So when we meet the devotees, if we have that inclination to bhakti, then that will be sprouted and it develops. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And so with your permission, we can go for Q&A session now. And
Yes.
first is Shukakar Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Anita Maji, thank you for giving me a chance to ask the question. Vraj Bihari Prabhu, your name is so famous. Anand Vrindavan Prabhu keeps telling Vraj Bihari Prabhu will come here, there. Whenever they go for 128 and 1, you come there. So I'm waiting to see you. So happy to see you. I desired today morning and you are there. Bhakti Sangha. Prabhuji, I got one question. You told about 11.20.17 and then you told 10.20.30, 10.2.30 and 31. And one more sloka, Mahajanana, what was the sloka number?
That is from Mahabharata. I don't have the number. It is quoted by Srila Prabhupada many times. Srila Prabhupada quotes it in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is a Mahabharata verse. Exactly which chapter of Mahabharata, I don't remember.
But Mahajanana Gatastapanta comes there.
Yeah. That is Mahabharata verse.
That also comes in Bhagavatam, no? Mahajanana Gatastapanta. That is another sloka.
I don't remember. From Bhagavatam, but I remember from Mahabharata.
Okay, so that means we have to for three things. One is our Guru Maharaj, and other one is great Acharyas, and the Vaishnava Association, and the Srimad Bhagavatam instruction, Tattva, from the theory. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Shivakumar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu. Prabhu, one question. So we, as devotees, we read the struggles that Srila Prabhupada had gone through, Prabhuji, and we all understand it's not something that a common man can endure and persevere. So my question, Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada being Nitya Siddha and his Leela establishing KC all over the world is something that we know after the fact. But my understanding is Srila Prabhupada was covered by Yogamaya. He was not aware of it when he was going through the struggles. So what was the source of his motivation, Prabhuji, that he would have had, not knowing that he is doing the Leela, something that we can draw inspiration from to kind of tackle the struggles that we go through?
Srila Prabhupada's inspiration, he said many times, was that verse, Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado, the desire to please his spiritual master. And that was an obsession. That was a blazing fire in his heart, which actually helped him tolerate all the sufferings that he went through. In fact, there is a very beautiful conversation in New York in 1965, 66, around that time. Before he established ISKCON, very old people were coming for his classes. Elderly women and men from New York were coming for his classes. And there is one particular point where Srila Prabhupada says, I'm not happy here in that class. He says, I'm not happy here in New York. I miss Vrindavan. Anybody here has gone to Vrindavan? Srila Prabhupada asks. And nobody has heard of Vrindavan in that audience because they're elderly American women and men. So Srila Prabhupada says, Vrindavan? You don't know Vrindavan? Krishna? He's asking a few times. They haven't heard the name of Krishna. In India, everybody knows Krishna. But there, nobody knows Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada is like, oh, Krishna. And you can feel Srila Prabhupada's voice drop. Oh, there's a disappointment in his voice. They don't know about Krishna. And then Srila Prabhupada says, actually, Vrindavan is so beautiful. That is everywhere. Just Prabhupada enters the space of Vrindavan and you can feel that separation he's feeling from New York. And he says, I'm not happy here. My heart is hankering to be in Vrindavan. I'm not happy here. He says that. And there's one lady in the audience. She says, yeah, Swami, we know you're not happy here. she actually adds to it, So Srila Prabhupada says, yes, my heart wants to be in Vrindavan. There is Radha Madan Mohan temple. There are devotees in Vrindavan. I want to go back to Vrindavan. And then Srila Prabhupada says, but my Guru Maharaj has ordered me to be here, so I will be here. So when I heard this, I felt a lot of hope, that wow, it's not that Srila Prabhupada had a beautiful roller coaster ride in New York, but what was giving him strength was his attachment to Krishna and his attachment to his Guru's instructions. So I think that's why he didn't find it as a He didn't find it as suffering. There's another letter he writes to his godbrother from New York. He says, I feel very much at home here in New York. Because he was remembering Krishna every day. He was offering food to Krishna and he was reading Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he was connected with Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, the process of bhakti. So I think because of that, see what happens is Srila Prabhupada himself has revealed this answer for us. I think in the first canto, 9th chapter, text number, I think 16 or 17 verse purport. Srila Prabhupada says that in the traditional Indian family, the mother-in-law wants to correct her daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law has just come home. She's newly married. So she doesn't want to scold her because of her mistake, but then she will get scared. So the mother-in-law shouts at her own daughter. So the daughter-in-law hears it and understands that, oh, this is a mistake I shouldn't have done. So Srila Prabhupada says that similarly, Krishna knows if he gives us so much suffering, we may not be able to handle it. So he uses his special devotees to go through suffering. Because they will never leave Krishna, they are very attached to Krishna. So that's why Pandavas suffered. That's why Srila Prabhupada went through that, so that we get strength and courage to pass through our suffering in life.
Thank you for the detailed answer. Thank you, sir. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Divya Gaurangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for very beautiful class, Prabhuji. You mentioned that how we should not waste time, rarity of human life, and we should take shelter of scriptures, and there are examples of wonderful devotee. Then Krishna becomes reality, and what is the uniqueness of bhakti? Thank you, Prabhuji. You mentioned, Prabhuji, that there is a big sea and there is one tortoise and one log. And if we imagine how from that hole of that log, tortoise comes out. So very wonderful example, Prabhuji. If I want to use this to speak to others about in a class, then could you give a reference where this is from, Prabhuji?
It is from Niti Shastra, which is a book of moral codes. I think given by Chanakya or someone. Exact number, reference, I don't know. But I've been hearing this example for many years from different devotees. So even if it's not a Shastric example, you could always give it a poetic example. You could always say it's so rare. Just like I give the example of local train. The train, I met a friend and my Babi's example, my brother's example. So that's also not in any scripture. So, but that drives home the point, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and we hope you will come again in Bhakti Sangha and enlighten us. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
I'll be more than happy to associate with all of you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, we need still more of your association and more time for your classes. And you should come here on our forum every now and then to give such nice classes. And Prabhuji, do you have time? We have a question.
Yeah, I can
I
take
think
10
Shyama
minutes
Gauri
more.
Mataji has.
Actually, every week one class will be good. Shyama Gauri Mataji, every week one class from Vraj Bihari Prabhu is really good.
Yes, Prabhuji, if Prabhuji has time. Then...
Today, I can take questions for another 10 more minutes and then...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hare Krishna,
yeah.
Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Very beautiful examples, Prabhuji. We always love your classes. And please come back again, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
I will surely come to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So thank you, Mataji. So there is a question in the chat. So Radha Jyoti Mataji is asking, if a person is busy with mobile devotee and non-devotee both, how his expectations are affected? How to understand the relation?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. I'm trying to also read it on the chat. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Jyoti Mataji, can you unmute and ask your question? Hare Krishna, Radha Jyoti Mataji, are you there?
Yes,
okay, if a
Mataji.
person is busy with mobile devotee and non-devotee both, how his expectations are affected?
Yeah, my
Yes,
question was regarding usage of mobile, because for every now and then, for everything, mobile is being used for banking, and for everything, the mobile is connected to us. And I was thinking how how is mobile is a tool to increase our expectations? Because I was trying to correlate with it and I researched few things, but I wanted to ask you so that I can understand my thinking is right or wrong.
What is your thinking about mobile?
If we use a mobile every day, say we are sticking to mobile usage, so how it is giving inputs to increase our expectations? Does it help to increase our expectations subtly or not?
Expectation means
Any expectations, say, because we don't know how our consciousness is affected, right, by the usage. We see everything on the right.
Oh yeah. So okay. So you are asking me what happens is how does the smartphone more than the mobile? I would be specific about smartphone, which has its electronic screen.
Yes,
the
yes,
smartphone
Prabhuji. Thank you
is
so much.
the smartphone is definitely in fact all the algorithms, all the way it is manufactured, it's all based on giving us a dopamine kick. And dopamine is a hormone that makes you crave for pleasure. So its inbuilt system is smartphone is inherently unhealthy for spiritual practice. But we follow the principle of Yukta Vairagya. We follow the principle of using everything in Krishna's service. So many devotees, we use smartphone because it helps us use and render service to Krishna. But unfortunately, with many of us, instead of we using the smartphone starts using us. And we become a puppet in the hands. And we spend an inordinate amount of time on Instagram Reels, YouTube Reels, Netflix, and we just get trapped by this phone. So this is extremely dangerous. And for relief also from our suffering, we take shelter of the smartphone. So I am convinced that smartphone is very, very unhealthy. And we need to discover an individual formula individually, how best to use the smartphone. So what I do is, I follow what is called as dopamine detox once a week, which means just like, in the ancient times, our ancestors used to do Nirjal Ekadashi once in 15 days. So I do fasting from my phone once a week. Now, I know that it may not be practically possible for grahasthas, but this is a principle, you can apply it in your own way. So there is something we need to do by which we are away from getting this influence of the smartphone. So that way, we'll be able to then appreciate natural things. We'll be able to appreciate kirtan, katha, reading. We'll be able to appreciate nature. So just like when we don't eat food and we do fasting, the body gets cleansed. Similarly, when we don't use a smartphone for a few hours, our mind also gets cleansed. So I'm strongly convinced that smartphone is unhealthy. But because this is now become a part of our culture, we need to learn ways of using it in such a way that we don't get trapped by it, and rather it helps us in our service. So how exactly, if one day in a week is difficult for you, maybe you can do some 6 hours of fasting or something like that. Try something by which you keep yourself away from your phone for at least some time every day or some time every week. And then you will understand automatically whether this is healthy or not. Right now we are trapped by it. Some youngsters, they feel offended when I tell them that smartphone is not healthy. So it's a very sensitive topic also nowadays. So yeah, I agree with you, and I don't recommend people, devotees, to spend time on the smartphone so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah,
Thank you, Prabhu.
certainly. Yeah,
Eternally
certainly.
grateful. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So yes, Prabhupada has told that even the technologies also we can use it in the service of the Lord. So in that way, if we think and if we use it, I think we can make use of the smartphones in a proper way. Because if you take even nowadays, even children, schoolings, all those things are all in, we have so many WhatsApp group even for that also. So some updates, emergency updates, everything like homeworks or exams, something, whatever it is, it comes on that. So I think Yes, as you said, Prabhu, we have to keep a fasting on this smartphone, like maybe every day, like around maybe 3 hours or 4 hours, something like that. We can do it. Obviously, we are not going to use it every now and then. So, thank you, Prabhu, for that very nice understanding, giving it to us. And I think,
I want to say, so I
yes,
was thinking I'll share one more point on this, a deeper point on smartphone and association of devotee, and then I would like to leave. Is that okay, Mataji? One very
yeah,
important point I want to see. Smartphone, Mataji, who are asked this question, I hope you're still there. I want to say something on this
Yes,
point.
Prabhuji.
yes,
Yeah.
please, yeah, you can.
So, okay, I'll tell you how I have learned about smartphone, how it has helped me. I'm convinced that electronic gadgets, smartphone, this is all important now. Although it has its harmful effects, because I have understood the importance of association of devotees.
Yes.
See, right? See, now what happens? Let us okay. What happens? Association means what? So this is a very important point I want to say to this group to give you reassurance that what you are doing is the best. See, association generally we used to think means meeting devotees, being with them, taking prasad. That's what Rupa Goswami says. Sharing gifts, revealing your heart. But as we progress in bhakti, we realize that association doesn't simply mean physical association. See, association begins with meeting devotees, but eventually association means hearing Krishna Katha from each other, which is what all of you are doing through Zoom, through electronic screen, through phone. So that means you are associating at the second level. It is not simply physically meeting. You are actually giving Krishna and receiving Krishna from each other. So if smartphone is helping in that, in associating with each other, then it is good. Smartphone is good. And there is a third level of association. First level is physically meeting and sharing and all that. Second is actually hearing Krishna Katha. And third level of association actually means we are associating with devotees when we actually depend on the blessings of devotees. When we are internally convinced that I'm depending on all these Bhakti Sangha groups. See, I came for this class when Shambhori Mataji invited me because I want blessings of all of you. So if I'm in this mood, when I'm in this mood that I want blessings of devotees, then I'm associating with them. And I feel smartphone can help us get blessings of many devotees. See, many times I've seen in ISKCON, the mistake we do many times is, we claim to be devotees of Krishna, but we don't depend so much on the blessings of our equal devotees, Matajis, Prabhujis. We see bhakti for us, many of us, for it remains a vertical relationship, I and Krishna. But bhakti is actually horizontal. Bhakti is about being with each other. And bhakti sangha of devotees actually. So when we have this mood of depending on the blessings of other devotees, then we actually make advancement in spiritual life. See, it is very easy to depend on Krishna. See, it is relatively easier to depend on Krishna and say Krishna, because Krishna is very big. See, and Krishna is also very far. It is natural to worship somebody who is very big, somebody is awe-inspiring. In fact, many such God worshippers in many religions become cultists because they feel I'm great, my God is great. So many people in the name of God are doing so much violence. But to depend on each other requires a lot of humility. And therefore, Narottam Das Thakur in his bhajan, that famous bhajan where he's saying, Aha, Prabhu Nityananda, Premananda Sukhi, Advaita Acharya is glorifying everyone and depending on all of their blessings. And toward the end of that bhajan, he starts praying to Srinivas Acharya, who is his equal. And then the last line is seeking blessings of Ramchandra, who is Ramchandra, is his disciple, he's like his friend's disciple. So we depend not only on our gurus and Mahajanas and pure devotees, but also not only on our equals, but our juniors also, those who have come after us. When we are having this mood of dependence, then we are associating. And this is actually humility. So therefore, we need to have, like, for example, see, when I'm traveling, I also travel a lot. 3 months in a year, I'm traveling internationally. And remaining time, I'm traveling in India also. But my heart is in Radha Gopinath Mandir, Chowpatty, where I do DT worship, where I have my close friends. So I don't get association. But thanks to this smartphone, I'm able to depend on their blessings. I remember their birthdays. I send messages to them. and I get to see photographs of my favorite deities from the temple. So I can associate through social media. Although social media is bad energy, smartphone is bad energy, but when I can check WhatsApp consciously for getting blessings of devotees, when I'm in a mood of depending on blessings of devotees, then this WhatsApp and this smartphone can also be a vehicle for me to make spiritual advancement. But if I'm not having this mood of depending on devotees' blessing, then this can be dangerous. Then we will depend on the smartphone, we will not depend on devotees. So if you are depending on devotees, then you can use smartphone. But if you're depending on smartphone, then you avoid smartphone. That is my conclusion, because smartphone is needed nowadays. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So for the
Thank you
detail
so much,
yes,
Prabhuji.
nowadays I think Mangal Arati also we can see through our smart phone or devices, whatever we have. So everything is on Zoom now. So
but again, that has to be, the mood has to be there. I need the blessings, I need mercy. If that mood is there, then it is okay. Otherwise, we will see Mangalarti, and after Mangalarti, we will see Netflix. we will go crazy, because it is this energy. There's dopamine here. Dopamine means a kick. It gives a kick. It's pleasure. There's a difference between pleasure and happiness. Nowadays, society is driven by pleasure. It is not driven by deep happiness. Pleasure means you get a kick, just like people got from a slot machine or from drugs. Nowadays fast food, fast sex, everything is fast. Enjoy. And smartphone is increasing that culture, because it gives an instant kick. But sitting in a Bhagavatam class for long hours, this requires a mood of dependence. Only when I'm in this mood that I need all of these devotees, then I will come for the class. No, I will come when I'm in this mood. So therefore, I'm sorry to again go on and on, but this is my very favorite topic. Smartphone is a topic which agitates me. I've got a lot of things to say on.
This is a topic which you have the kick for.
You gave many tips. You gave many tips, Prabhu, in the Anand Vrindavan, how to chant. Somebody was sleeping in 192 rounds. Your class made everybody awake. You give one tip and go, Prabhu, please. The class sleep comes.
Tip on what?
How to be totally absorbed in chanting. How not get sleepy. You gave something in the class there. In the Siddha Bakul, you gave a class. And everybody got up.
I say I am also struggling devotee, but I heard His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj say something very nice, which gave me a lot of hope in Japa. Our Amarendra Prabhu shared this. Amarendra Prabhu is a very dear friend, and I loved that point. I felt so hope-giving. So His Holiness Radha Govinda Swami Maharaj says that, even if you feel sleepy, don't sleep. Just don't give up chanting. Even if you're not able to be very attentive, just be with the holy name and be with the devotees. So he gives the example that in India, many Indian societies, there are watchmen, there are bodyguards, there are security guards who sit outside the society, outside the building, and they have night watchmen. They are night duty they perform. So Maharaj was saying that most of these night watchmen, it's not that they are sitting alert and awake the whole night. They are sometimes listening to music. They are sometimes walking, they are talking, they are awake. Their job is to remain awake. So they get a salary for not sleeping. They get salary for being awake in the night. So Maharaj was saying that even if your mind is wandering, as long as you're not consciously seeing the phone or not consciously doing something, your mind is wandering is like the security guard doing many things. Security guard here is compared to the mind. So mind is doing many things, it's okay. As long as you don't sleep, as long as you don't give up chanting. So continuing to chant means being in the duty, the night watchman. So mind will wander.
Close your eyes and chant. Keep the eyes closed, Hare Krishna. Keep chanting. Eyes may close, but keep chanting.
But don't sleep. If you're feeling sleepy, then open your eyes.
Right.
And when your eyes are open, and if your mind is wandering too much, then close your eyes. But when you close your eyes, if you feel sleepy, then open your eyes.
Stand up and
both ways you are feeling sleepy, then stand up and chant. And by standing also, if you feel sleepy, walk and chant. And if walking also you feel sleepy, then go and wash your face and then come back and chant. But after washing your face and walking and chanting also you feel sleepy, then
Don't sleep.
Stop chanting. Stop chanting.
no. Don't sleep while chanting. While sleeping you can chant, but don't chant while chanting. Don't sleep. That is an offense. Then Maya, we are inviting Maya. You know, one of my very close friends, his office is in Mada, where there is a national park, where there is a forest adjacent to a forest. And he has his own office, and he showed me a video, the CCTV camera recording of the security guard of his building. The security guard is sitting in the night on his chair. And this is a recent video. I've seen it. The CCTV camera recording the time. It's 1:35 a.m. There is the road is completely empty, and is outside the road. The security guard is sitting on the chair and is sleeping. And just next to the road is a forest, and there is a leopard staring at this man, and you can see it on the CCTV camera. And the leopard is constantly staring, and after 2-3 minutes, you can see the leopard running towards the security guard because he's sleeping. And as soon as that leopard is coming closer, suddenly on the road, a car comes in full speed, and the car is honking. So the car comes in full speed and goes, and the car goes, and the leopard suddenly gets scared, and the leopard turns back and runs away. And the leopard runs away, and because of that car honking, the security guard wakes up. The security guard at this point of time has no idea that there was a leopard because he was fast asleep. And he wakes up, and with his stick, he's walking, and he crosses the street, and he goes near those bushes from where the leopard came, and he's walking around, and he comes back and sits on the chair. And then this was the entire 7 or 8 minutes of CCTV camera footage he showed me, and he said, Prabhu, this is what happened last week in our office. And then this was shown to that security guard, and he was so scared after that. In fact, they put some barricade after that to protect the security guard. But what I'm trying to say is, if we sleep, the leopard of Maya will come and devour us. While chanting, don't sleep. You know, be awake. Even if your mind is wandering, but at least be awake. Hare Krishna. I'm really, really sorry, all of you. I need to rush now for another meeting.
Thank you.
And but I deeply appreciate all of you coming together every day like this.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you
Prabhuji.
so much.
Hare Prabhu.
Eternally
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much, Prabhuji. Such a wonderful
Let's fire
class.
Thank you.
obeisances to Prabhuji, all our devotees.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Sindhu
Vancha
Prayag.
kalpatarupascha kripa sindhubhyo